for today. We have Otter Clam coming on to talk about all the updates they've got, their token, what things are looking like in the future, and what they're building out to. And that's the first time. I mean, most recently it was like the first time I really had looked into what you guys were building. I mean, I'd heard the name, but just from people like Kurt on the team, and not done too deep of a dive into Otter Clam. So you guys got a lot of interesting stuff. I think your website is very cool and all that stuff. But we'll get to that. We start things off a little bit differently. I got a couple questions for you both. Nothing too long because today's is a shorter AMA we got, but some questions for you both. Firstly, just to get to know you guys a little bit better, if you had to pick one top 10 coin to put all your money into, which one would it be?
Top 10. Well, the bottom
Top
half of
20
the
is
top
fine.
10.
Top 20 is fine.
Okay. I would put it in Matic.
Matic? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say I would go with Matic as well. It's they're constantly adding new things, and yeah, I'm very bullish on Matic.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think the whole DeFi community is probably on the same page as you guys.
Yeah, we're a little biased since we're on Polygon, but
yeah, Polygon is definitely building some amazing stuff, though. That's for sure. They have a lot of amazing partnerships. Fair enough. If you had to pick between Bitcoin and Ethereum, which one would it be?
Ethereum. For me, not even a question.
Really?
I'm not really sure, honestly. I feel like that's a little bit of a tough one for me. I'm gonna go with Ethereum too, I think.
Is there a reason for you, Rogue?
Yeah. So I mean, they're two at the moment. They're two very different coins, right? I mean, Bitcoin has more name recognition in the wider world than Ethereum, although Ethereum's catching up. But there's just more to do with Ethereum, and if Bitcoin made some kind of pivot and suddenly, really just altered their whole code and made it very DeFi friendly and a bit, with the ability to do more than just kind of buy and hold, could be a different story. But I just think that the future of Ethereum is so much brighter. Personally, I think that Bitcoin's kind of the gateway drug of the crypto world, and then once you kind of see, I mean, it was for me. Once you kind of see what else is out there, it's like, oh well, okay, this was nice and all, but
It's funny to me. It's hilarious because you realize how degen people are, right? Like you start off with the stock market. They're like, this isn't good enough for me. I don't like these returns. So like, okay, we'll leverage trade, right? We'll bring it up to like, you can go to the Forex markets and leverage trade. And then it's like, okay, this isn't enough for us, right? All right, so go trade crypto. And then it's like, oh, this isn't enough for us, right? Like 10x every couple of years isn't enough. Let's go leverage trade crypto. And that's still not enough. And then you get these degen plays coming up, and it's like this crazy thing that's, people aren't happy with doubling their money every year. People want to double their money every month. And it's so funny to me.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason that there are actually a couple crypto rehabs out there, right?
Are there actually? Is that a joke? I hope that's a joke.
No. I think it's in somewhere in the Scandinavian countries. That's the one I heard about.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a real thing. It's a startup idea, but it's catching on as people lose more and more money in crypto.
That is crazy. What in the world? Strictly crypto rehabs. Oh my gosh. Half our community needs to go there.
Exactly. See, there's a growing demand for it.
Right?
Yeah, so I actually just looked it up. It is a real thing. And yeah, it looks like they're primarily based in like England, like the United Kingdom, like Scotland area.
Close.
So yeah, I guess we can all just take a giant vacation over there and
I guess maybe they're extra degen over there or something.
There you go.
That is funny. That's so weird. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious though. All right. Well, next bit I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think that we are closer to going into a run in 2023 or in 2024?
Well,
you could say beginning or end as well of 2023 as well.
I mean, if I was good at prognosticating, I'd be richer than I am. But I would say I personally think that I would personally say late 2023. And there's a reason that even though I'm the investment lead, I don't have full power. But I do think that personally, I think that all things being equal, it would be earlier.
Mhm.
But I just think there's too much insanity going on in the world right now, and I think it's going to affect the markets, and I think it's going to push things back.
To late 2023 is what you're thinking then?
Yeah, I think so.
Gotcha. How about for you?
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little bit more of a pessimist, and I'm gonna say like maybe mid-ish 2024.
Okay, so we're looking like a year and a half from now. Is what your thought is?
Yeah, it's. I think that there's a potential, but I think that there's just also so much going on right now that's been not so great, which might be holding things back a little bit.
Hence the rehab centers for crypto, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, that just cracks me up. That is hilarious. There's like nothing more degen than that. Um, but all right, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I like the opinions there. I think it's definitely up in the air right now. There's so many factors playing into it. It's so hard to tell. And realistically, once big money starts coming in, is really going to be the beginnings. I think XRP, the whole settlement, depending on how it goes, could either really hurt things for a little while or really help things for a little while. So I think that a lot of things are kind of riding on that, and that might be a determining factor on whether it takes an extra year or not to get into it. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see how that goes. But either way, let's dive a little bit deeper into who you guys are. You know, what your guys' experience is coming into the project, and then I know you guys have kids, so what is your experience kind of coming into this? What are your individual skill sets as you guys, backgrounds, that kind of thing?
So I'm the investment lead at OtterClam. Came up. We've pretty much most of the core team is homegrown. I started as a community member. I was yield farming on, I don't know, I think QuickSwap or something back in the day, and I happened to notice the Clam token. I'm like, that's such a weird name. Let me check them out a little bit. And I kind of found myself in Discord. You just fell in love with the community, became the community. I think after a while, I started writing some articles for them, and then from there, moved into a mod position, and then from there into onto the actual core team. I believe Dungabu has a similar story, but my experience that I bring to the protocol would be the yield farming aspect. I really enjoy digging out new protocols, new strategies, and talking about how best to utilize the treasury in OtterClam just all the time. I mean, we have a really dedicated group of people that make up the DAO, and we bounce a lot of ideas off each other, a lot of different perspectives. It's just for us, it's just a lot of fun. To talk these sorts of things. So, I mean, that's my primary role. Besides that, obviously I do the AMAs and stuff as well. And crypto projects are startups, right? So you wear whatever hats fit.
Exactly.
So there's other stuff that we all do, but that would be my primary role.
Yeah. And what was your experience coming into this?
Coming into OtterClam?
Yeah, into the crypto space in general.
Oh, the crypto space in general.
Either or,
wow.
like something you like, any kind of prior experience you had, whether it is crypto or not.
Before crypto, no, not really. I didn't even have any like traditional trading experience or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I dabbled in just trading individual coins back in probably 2018-ish, late 2017, something like that. Lost some money, didn't really get anything out of it, kind of just stopped. And then I got into mining, and then that kind of brought me back into the space. I was mining on NiceHash or whatever it was. I was mining Ethereum on GPUs to earn Bitcoin. But it with it just sitting there, it always kind of like I knew there was yields out there. I just didn't know how to get them. So I just having all these coins sitting there, it just kind of was burning my butt a little bit. So I started to do some research into how to increase those yields, and then before you know it, I find myself falling into a layer 2 chain on Polygon and taking all my Bitcoin and sending it all over the place. And that was kind of how I got into it. Just honestly, just like you said, it was just the yields, the little 5% that I was getting on the sexes just wasn't enough, and good thing too, because most of them are dead now, and they would have taken the money.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that kind of stuff happening the past week. And then how about for you, Dungaboo?
Yeah, so I have a very similar story. I had no idea what NFTs were. I was in a few servers that one of our core team members was also in, and he had his auto NFT as his profile picture, and his is really cool. It's all dressed up as like Iron Man and everything like that. And so I had been eyeballing it for a really long time, and then I finally was like, you know what, let me check this out. And he had OtterClam linked in his profile, so I followed it over, and then I just immediately fell in love with the community. I helped out as much as I could, and I got promoted to a moderator, and then I've been doing the marketing. I'm marketing lead for OtterClam now. I think I've been doing that for about 4 or 5 months now.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Very cool. So you guys kind of experienced your first like big like trading scene in crypto, right? If I'm hearing this all correctly. That was really like what spurred the interest in what you guys are doing now, right?
Yeah, not even so much trading for me. It was the yield farming. Being able to just
Gotcha.
hold assets and just being able to earn the interest on that. I mean, to me, that was just the greatest thing ever. So I kind of started there and stayed there.
Yeah, and how have your guys' like kind of experiences leading up to this kind of fed into OtterClam? Why don't we talk a little bit about what our OtterClam is, and then we can kind of branch from there.
Yeah, so OtterClam is a hybrid DeFi NFT project on the Polygon network. We started as an ohm fork, embarrassingly enough, but we moved away from that a few months in. Again, I would say that the project is really defined by the activity and the brain power of the DAO. It's the DAO that moved us from an ohm fork to several iterations of more sustainable revenue models until we've arrived at where we are today. And we started. I mean, at the moment, or the DeFi side of it is essentially a farming as a service project. Basically, you have our native token, Clam. You can stake it in one of two staking pools, and you can share in the revenue of the treasury every day. So it's a perpetual yield protocol. At the moment, there's no inflation on the token. It's once we're above backing price, then we can start to bond out. But until then, there's no emissions. And in fact, there is a token burn on the NFT side, which I'll get to in a little bit. So that's sort of the rough tokenomics of it. But basically, you can invest in one of two staking pools. One of them, you just stake it, and whatever the revenue is sold into USD Plus and paid out to you. In your proper proportion. The other one is the same idea, where it would be, instead of selling it to USD Plus and giving to you, it actually buys Clam. The revenue is used to buy Clam off the market and give to you. So it's an auto compounding vault, but also a buyback mechanism. And that's the crux of the DeFi. As I said, we spend a lot of time managing the treasury. At the moment, it's mostly in stables. Clam is essentially a stablecoin derivative right now, just because of the craziness of the market. Protecting the capital is more important than trying to chase yields that end up backfiring. But on the NFT side, we actually launched an NFT collection back in March. It started as it was just a regular NFT like profile pic type collection. I think Dungaboo has a picture of one of the examples of our NFT, and basically from there we built up multiple utilities for the NFT. The first one, which has been ongoing now for a good few months, is a rarity competition, where, if you can see in the picture, well, actually you can't see in the picture, but you can see the rarity score right below the name. So every auto that is minted comes with a base rarity, and then the rarity can also be buffed through equipment that's also sold in the store. And you can equip all these things onto the auto directly, and that boosts the rarity. And then every 2 weeks we have it's called an epoch, where people just jockey to get as high of a rarity as they can. And then at the end, oh yeah, there's a good picture of sort of the equipping screen where you can put all this equipment on your auto. But at the end, the person, the top ranked autos get prizes in Clam. So the top prize is pretty lucrative. It's like $700 or $800 worth of Clam, and then it just goes down from there. But the top 50% of autos in existence have the potential to win, or they will win something. Obviously, the number 400 ranked auto is not going to get much of anything. It's probably a fraction of a Clam or whatnot. But those top 100 spots are generally worth fighting for. So that's one sort of utility of it. And in addition, about a month or so ago, we released a adventure system where the autos are now playable characters in an adventure game, which a picture like your average idle game type of deal. You can send your autos on adventures, on missions, and they come back. They either have a success or a fail rate, and they can bring back items. They build up experience, and this is all based on their individual attributes, which come out of the portal. They have a certain base set of attributes, and then they also, you can add to those attributes. This is separate from rarity. Add to those attributes, based on the items that you equip. So the best part about all of these things, about all of these various utilities, is that and the adventure system's very much a work in progress. We just also released a mission system which allows you to use the items that you have acquired on the various adventures. But all these things, minting autos, buying equipment, there's certain other transactions that you can take part in. All these are used. They're transacted in Clam. So Clam is the currency. And the nice thing about it is all of these NFT transactions, there's 50% of the transaction goes to the prize pool. That's how we pay out the rarity competitions and stuff like that. What is it? 40% goes to the DAO, for operational expenses, and then 10% is burned. So the Autopia whole system is essentially an integrated burning mechanism for Clam. So you've got a token that you stake. You have revenue sharing. You have a buyback mechanism built into the staking mechanism or staking pool, and you've got a burning mechanism built into the entire NFT side of the protocol. And all of this is done in a very fun way. I mean, obviously, you're playing a game, so you have fun while you're doing it, but it's also a very sustainable model that it's been working out well for us. I mean, the market's really gone to crap, and Clam has been, by and large, quite stable throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, I looked at your your most recent what do I call it? Corner market cap, right? I remember you showing that to me. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing, if you guys aren't looking at the site and are not in the AMA questions chat, go check it out, because your guys' website is something that most projects don't have that gamified aspect of, right? Like, you guys have a very cool aspect to it, including like some of the sound effects and even just like the simple things that you guys have added in that I think add to the kind of this experience of playing through this gamification. So I think it's very cool the way you guys have kind of taken it. So what is, kind of going back to your guys, or your role specifically, Rogue, as far as the investment lead, what are you doing right now? What's the strategy around, what funds you're using to invest, and what the plan is for those investments specifically?
So, I mean, hold on a minute.
No, you're good. We got the kids in the room.
Yep, the toddler difficulties.
Unhappy kids too.
It's all good. No worries. I
okay. All right.
I understand.
Okay. Anyway, what was the question?
So going back to the point that you're kind of taking you are the investment lead, right? Like, you're kind of heading that that piece of it. What are the funds that
Yeah.
you guys are using for the different investment opportunities? And then what is your overall strategy right now?
So overall strategy, we decided a few months ago that the market wasn't looking pretty, and that we wanted to get out of our higher yielding, directional investments and strategies to go more in a safer direction, stable coins, hedge delta neutral strategies, things like that. And the devs have been really quite creative in maximizing the potential of that. They developed their own delta neutral strategy, which, if you're not familiar, essentially you take stable coins like, let's say, USDC, you buy something off of Aave like Matic, and then you pair it up with another stable coin, wherever on whichever DEX. And the idea is that even if that particular coin you borrowed goes down, also your borrowed amount goes, or your borrowed amount required to repay goes down. And so it's actually remarkably stable. It's not a full, it's not a full yield from that, but it's higher than your average stable coin. Like our I think we have a Matic USDC delta neutral, and it's earning about 20% APY. So for a low risk strategy, that's pretty good. And stuff like that. We have a good amount in the DAI vault on gains. If you guys are familiar, that's been good. Again, that's another perpetual yield. So you have days that are high yielding and days that are low. It's just all based on volume. So that's where we're at right now. Essentially, what we're doing is we're waiting for a market bottom so we can take all these stables and put them back into, highly discounted volatile assets. And again, this is not like, it's not just me sitting here in my basement saying, now's a good time, let's buy everything. We talked this out among the DAO, lots of smart people. And again, like I said, I love the fact that it's, you've got like, you've got your degens and you've got your bears, and all very intelligent people. I happen to lean degen, so luckily there's people in the DAO who can sort of balance my worst impulses. But that's the goal at the moment. So that's what we're doing with the funds. We're working on actually also a variant of Autopia, which will directly feed the treasury, and so we're still working that out. But at the moment, Autopia is there. When I say Autopia, I mean the NFT side is there primarily to boost and support the Clam token. Like I said, through burns, through actual demand, right? I mean, now Clam actually has a purpose; it's used as a currency, and so, but because Autopia is doing well, we're looking at ways to, hey, maybe that we can actually get some non-native tokens into the treasury through Autopia, and just further integrate the two sides, benefiting both. And so that's what we're doing right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, very interesting. So remember, guys, if you're in the audience, make sure you guys are asking the best question. They got some prizes coming out to the best question asked. So go ahead and ask them if you got any. I'm gonna start reading a couple of them off that we got, and then we can kind of touch up on some extra stuff at the end if that works with you guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. And we'll just kind of go through this. But firstly, both you guys are in crypto. What's to stop the, this is just a joke, but who's going to stop the other one from investing too much? I think it's going back to to you guys needing rehab or something like that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, it's an entire DAO, right? I mean, there's probably, I would say, of the active like investment voices, probably 15 to 20, I would say, that really lend their opinions on anything. We have 50 proposals so far that have come and gone. Constantly, hey, do we want to move these stables to this here? Or, every little investment choice is DAO run. We're incredibly decentralized. And if you pop over to our Discord and look at our treasury section, you can see the conversations that go on there. I honestly, it's the, now that I've been in the space for a little while, been in plenty of Discords. I mean, it's one of the best run, again, potentially a little biased, but it's one of the best run, if not the best run DAO that I've ever seen. And that's simply because everyone's voice is heard. There's no sort of dictates coming down from the devs or anything like that. It's all worked out quite well. But we have a large DAO that even though we have whales, right, that could potentially just outvote everybody.
Yeah.
They've all demonstrated a willingness to yield, even if they see that popular opinion is leaning against them. There's been situations where they said, okay, just because this seems to be the prevailing opinion, I'll back down from whatever it is that I wanted to push through. So it's worked out extremely well. And so there's the balance, right? Look at it as like a Congress, right, instead of just a dictator or two.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. You guys have the DAO aspect of everything. Do you worry? And this is like just a thought of that I know that we've asked a couple other groups that have these DAOs. Do you guys have any concerns as far as the way DAOs operate? Usually, there's somebody that's more intelligent than the average person, right? That is operating something like a hedge fund or some kind of community pooled fund, because those people are spending their entire lives in the investment side of things, right? The financial gain side of things versus the general person that's going working 9 to 5 and kind of living their life isn't. Maybe they spend a couple hours a week looking it up. Do you guys find that there's any risk for your project specifically as far as allowing the DAO to be kind of self-guiding?
I mean, not really, because the whole like framework of the DAO would mean that the person with the most stake in it would then be self-destructing themselves. Like I don't know, I don't really see a situation where someone would go out of their way to
No.
buy this.
I don't mean maliciously. I mean just like not making the smartest, most educated decision.
Oh, well, I suppose if there was a situation where there was only one or two voices, right? You're basically hinging your entire protocol on that. At least your entire treasury. And so I could see a situation where that would be an issue, right? Because if you did have one person who was just a shameless degen, and it's just like, well, I know the market's down, but look at this 1,000% APY. Yeah, we got to go here to make up our losses. Whatever, some dumb crap like that.
Invest in Tornado Cash.
Yeah.
That was a joke, guys. That was a joke.
NFA. But it could be. That's just not the case with us. Again, there's many voices. And I've had ideas that I put forward and they get shot down viciously, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that was probably smart that there was checks and balances. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. I just don't think it's possible at this stage in our development, just because there is so many active users.
Gotcha. Yeah, very interesting. Next up, is there a way that you guys can actually stake NFTs? What are the functionalities of those NFTs? Is there a way you can stake them, or is it just the tokens that you can stake currently?
Funny you should mention that. So the functionality that we're tossing around right now, and I don't want to give away too much because we're not like, nothing is final. We're still talking about the mechanics of this, but we're talking about the ability to buy, instead of just buying our autos and equipment for the autos, buying actual like plots of land within Autopia, and being able to build on that land certain, I don't know, what maybe structures or certain, you'll have a certain amount of slots that you could use for to benefit your NFT play. There's an in-game currency, you could produce that, maybe make adventuring more successful, a rarity boost for the leaderboard, whatever. So, just stuff like that. And the idea is that, yes, you would then take your auto and basically send him to, or her to work at a particular slot to increase those benefits. So that's one aspect of it that we're talking about now. In addition, long-term goal, we're actually working on, or we will be working on our own NFT marketplace. We've got a sort of in-house NFT marketplace currently where you can buy your items, mint your autos, and that sort of thing. But we're talking about an actual open source, type of deal. And if when that is more shaped out, the original idea was to be able to actually not only not stake your autos, but actually breed your autos, since they are male and female. That was the original intention. Breed your autos to make an auto pup, and that auto pup could then be staked on the marketplace as a revenue sharing device. So that's also on the roadmap.
Gotcha. Back to the whole thing that I questioned. There was a comment on it right after. Most people in the crypto space are dumb. Speaking from experience, I am one. Are you scared of them making dumb choices you don't agree with?
I guess that was about the DAO.
Yep. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
You kind of already addressed it, but um, going back to the next one, looking at the chart of Clam USDC, there's some big red and green candles. Does Clam use a price stabilizer?
Price stabilizer.
Like some kind of LMS or that kind of thing.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, gotcha.
I would assume not, but yeah, I guess one of the devs could probably answer that more. You see big red and green candles because we're $1.3 million market cap project. So so someone goes in and buys 7K worth of Clam, we're 20% up or something crazy like that. So it's just small project type of mechanics at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger we get, the less impact it is.
For sure. Let's see next. We got. Sorry, I'm looking through a bunch of comments, trying to find if I missed anything up above. Do you guys have plans to either partner with any other groups or develop into a, some kind of less gamification, but more so like an actual game in the future? Whether it
We'll
be
have to take
mini
it one step
games
at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. We've talked about the concept of mini games within the larger scale, like idle game framework, but at the moment we don't have anything. Because I mean that's the closer you get to let's quote unquote real game, the more you have to be more of a game studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment it's just not something that we've got the manpower for. So we're going to keep building out what we have. Again, we started with the adventure system, moved into the mission system, and we're going to keep going from there and just kind of see where it shapes out.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Let's see. I think I'm caught up on most of them. Do you plan to integrate more sounds for the auto NFTs?
Well, every auto has a different sound, a different voice. When you look up the auto, they have a different voice.
That's
If you mean
funny.
like a what is it called, like a system sound when you whenever you click a button,
He
I have
said,
no
I
idea.
don't plan on starving mine. Oh gosh. Oh, you guys are talking too much about otters. That's funny.
I mean, they are sort of the centroid of our protocol.
Oh, I mean, like they're talking about eating otters up here.
Oh, like the real world kind.
Yep, like real world otters. But yeah, is there anything we missed up on touching up on regarding your guys' ecosystem?
I don't think so. I mean, again, the sort of the positive feedback loop of the DeFi with the NFTs. I mean, the only thing I would say is that unlike an NFT project, we've never been, our success has never been hinged on massive NFT hype.
Mm-hmm.
Like minting out has never been a priority.
Yeah.
Making a certain amount of sales has never been even a priority. I mean, obviously we always push for better revenue stream whenever we can.
Yeah.
But it's never our model is incredibly sustainable, which has always been the goal. Any NFT sort of activity is just more gravy on top of Clam. You know what I mean? It's not something that we rely on to survive. In fact, I mean, Clam is incredibly self-sufficient at this point, just because it has perpetual yield. It's got these other sort of balancing mechanisms like buybacks and burns and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and no emissions. So, it's just we've tooled it so that it can survive in any market, and any market. If you to survive any market, in addition to tokenomics, you need community and you need a team, and we've got a team that has been building nonstop, and not only building but innovating. Again, we
Mm-hmm.
started as an ohm fork, which is the polar opposite of what we are today. And we have a diehard community of people who just love the protocol, and we've got a whole roll of them called ambassadors, who just are very active and are constantly hyping the program or hyping the project because it's worthy of that hype, in my totally biased opinion.
Gotcha. For sure. No, I love it. I love to hear it. Kind of moving forward. I think if that is kind of everything you guys had, I think it's time for the giveaway. But I think you've been looking at chat. Is that correct? You've been kind of following along. I
Yeah,
think I have some
I've been
names in my head,
doing
but if you
chat.
have 3 people you want to pick for it, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, let me sorry, give me 1 second. My son fell asleep on my lap, so I'm trying to not wake him up while I scroll through the chat.
No
But
worries.
yeah, just give me a second. I'll scroll back through everything, and I
Yeah.
will I'll come back in a sec with my recommendations.
Sounds good. Yeah, I picture you guys like trying to do an AMA and you have like kids climbing on your back and like trying to like take you down as you're up there. That's awesome. That's so funny. AJB, is that accurate? But yeah, it's a really funny idea. Yeah. I can't
Yeah, I
imagine.
mean, there's really no good way to keep them, especially like as soon as I put my headset on, my daughter wants to get over and like start singing and like saying hi to everybody, and it's just yeah, it's impossible because you can't even like hide yourself away because then they'll just be banging on the doors screaming that they need to come in, and it's tough. It's tough.
For sure. I can imagine. I do not have kids, but I've grown up around a lot, like, and I've taken care of a lot of family members, so I understand.
All right, so I do. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this question out there to see how you guys feel about it. But I did think, in my opinion, I really liked the question about potentially if we're looking into partnering with like actual gaming things because we are going towards the gamification side. And I think that I thought that was a pretty nice question there. I know that we didn't really have a super great answer for it because it is something in the future, but it's something that would be really cool if we could ever, like Rogue had said, we don't really have the manpower for it right now, but if we could ever get to do something like that, that would be
Hmm.
super cool. But also, I may be biased because I'm a huge gamer, so if I could actually have something where I could like sit down on my phone and like actually have like an Utopia app that I could play with, that would be excellent.
Right. Yeah, I like that one. I think the other one that stuck out
What
to me, or one of the other ones, was the NFT question, the staking NFT.
Baking NFT, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rogue? Give us your opinion. Give us your opinion.
I think whatever you guys say is gold.
Our word is
Okay,
law.
well,
I'm just kidding.
right, yep.
Dungabu's never been wrong in the past, so I'm just gonna go with whatever she says.
Fair enough. Yeah, let's do
So,
that then. Let's do that. And then that's funny. And then for second and third, I think the NFT was definitely a very close follow-up if if that isn't first.
yeah, let's okay, so we'll say best question asked, we're gonna go with the gamification one. And
Can
then
you remind me who
second
that
best
was?
question. Yeah, I'm actually trying to find it right now. Let's see. I feel like I've scrolled up too far now. Let's Oh, Jake Salthouse, you just asked a really good question too. Have you thought about potentially adding a charity aspect? Um, I believe it was a little bit before my time at OtterClam, but I believe the charity aspect had come up a few times.
It had, yeah.
I don't. Okay, yeah.
We went back and forth with it, and essentially what we were thinking about doing was doing like a wildlife charity, like obviously otter centric. There's some out there, whereas like maybe like 1% of our well, at the time, well, back then we actually had a totally different like tokenomic system. So we were thinking about basically allocating some of our emissions back then towards, like selling them to donate to the charity. So it's something that's come up. It's just never been implemented, not yet, anyway.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. That's very cool. I've seen a couple, like, I know, what is it? Shoot, I think Hydro Whales has something about that, if I'm not incorrect, or it might be Hydro Hippos that I'm thinking of. But yeah, they're both NFT collections, but one of them has some kind of aspect kind of similar to what you're describing, like some wildlife aspect to it. It's it's an interesting idea. I like the kind of theme around it all.
Yeah, no, we're very much in love with otters over here, as you might have been able to tell. And our artist is killer. I mean, the art is something that is never it's always been a constant in the protocol. Even as our tokenomics look totally different in the past, but our artist Oppo, he's our lead artist anyway. He's always been killing the graphics game.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Very, very cool. And if you guys are winning, so Dungbu's actually kind of marking you guys down for who had first, second, and third. If you guys wouldn't mind creating a ticket in the server, if that works, or do you want to send them over to your guys' server? How about we do that?
Yeah, that could work too.
Would that work? Okay. If you won first, create a ticket in our server. If you won second or third, create a ticket in theirs. Is how we'll do it. So OXG, if you wouldn't mind creating a ticket and sending us your wallet address, that would be awesome. And then if you won second or third, go ahead and join the OtterClam Discord. If you guys could post that in AMA questions as well, Dungbu, if you're able to do that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did just want to go over really quick the prizes that we're giving to second and third place. They are they're silver shell chests. So Rogue kind of mentioned briefly, we've got a store within Utopia where you can buy these shell chests and things like that. The shell chest itself is an NFT, but if you use Matic as just like for gas to open it, these shell chests will have one of hundreds of wearable items for one of our NFTs. So all of the items within the chest are also NFTs. So you can either keep it as a chest if you want to, or you can open it to see, what you might have gotten out of it. But yeah, that's what we're going to be giving away to the second and third place.
Awesome. This video that you posted, JP, that's great. I don't know if you guys see that, but that was funny. Yeah, so that's awesome. So you guys, if you didn't hear that, you guys get an NFT for second and third, but you can also open that chest, right, and get an item for the actual protocol and a wearable item for your otter. So that's very, very cool. I like the way that you guys do it. I like the different. I assume it's some kind of 1155, right, where you guys are able to create these NFTs.
Yeah,
yep, that's correct.
Yeah, it rolls up into the
that's really cool. That's
auto.
really cool. Awesome. Well, if you guys have anything else left you wanted to chat about, let me know. If not, it's been really good having you guys on and chatting for the last little bit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having us here. Big fan of Cardinal Island.
I appreciate you guys as well. Yeah, it's been good though. You guys go ahead and check out their Discord though. And definitely if you didn't yet, check out their website, because even if you're just looking because you're curious, it is very, very cool. I really enjoyed looking through it and clicking on the stuff, and they have music, and it's a cool little experience to go through. But anyways, thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate you guys for it, and let me know if you guys need anything else.